In a year for the stock market that shot up the EV sector, clean energy, and these pharma COVID plays, I'm just trying to keep that same momentum through 2021. I want to figure out what are going to be the next big industries this year, and I'm pretty sure we already have a decent idea of what those are going to be. So, without further ado, I'm the middleman, and today we're talking stocks. So, before we get started, I wanted to say I'm not a financial advisor and I've only been investing in the stock market for about 6 months. As I'm sure you've heard in every YouTube video you've ever watched, please do your own DD. I'm happy to answer any questions I can, but you are responsible for your own investments. So, now that I can't get sued, let's get into it. Today is my first video about stocks and the market, so I kind of wanted to share a little bit about myself, my portfolio, and then we'll kind of get into the stock I wanted to talk about today. So now I started investing back in July of 2020 from the recommendation of a couple friends, and at first I was skeptical just because I kind of am a reckless spending 20-something-year-old kid, and I honestly haven't saved much in my entire life. So I looked into it a little bit, and I had some money from COVID saved up, and I entered a small position in a few small stocks, one of them being CLSK, which I'm sure you're all familiar with by now. Big shout out to my friend John, who turned me and a lot of his friends onto that stock, and of course to Rex Finance, a fellow Cornhusker, who gave me the confidence with his videos to stay in it as long as I have. So that stock alone has brought me nearly 200% returns in my portfolio in the 6 months that I've been investing. I've had some other really successful plays in the months, ENG and SNDL, but none quite like Sparky, obviously. That guy's like a different beast. I've got my sights set high for 2021 with a little baby fintech company that I hope should be emerging from the shadows this year. And I've got quite a few other companies in my portfolio that I'll hopefully be getting to in other videos down the road. But for now, I want to get into the stock I want to talk about today, and that is BlueSphere Corporation, ticker symbol BLSP. So now before I get into it, I just want to say this is not me pumping the stock by any means, just because I'm going to talk about not only BLSP, but also the industry that it's in and help kind of lay out why I've already invested and what to potentially expect over the next year. So BlueSphere Corporation is based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and have projects globally in Italy and even the Netherlands. They are an independent power producer that turns harmful wastes into sustainable energy, so something that's been around for a while, obviously. Now, the United States alone produces around 200 million tons of waste each year versus nearly 2 billion tons globally, and 33% of that global waste is not managed in an environmentally safe manner. Now, I'm going to break down what BLSP does and how they do it differently, because the science behind any energy play should help frame your investment with if it's a good idea to invest long term or not. So, how does BLSP operations work? Well, simply put, they make renewable energy out of waste. So they basically take any type of trash, garbage, food waste, and they heat it up in these tanks called anaerobic digesters, or AD, which produce electricity and heat that can be evenly distributed. So bear with me here. Anaerobic digestion is all of this waste that gets pumped into these sealed, airtight digesters, and that ultimately heats the waste for an additional extended amount of time. I've read it can go up to about 20 to 30 days. And within these digesters, there are mixers that evenly distribute microorganisms which break down the mixture by producing biogas, essentially. So biogas is basically 60% methane and a form of renewable energy, and the biogas can then be used to generate energy and evenly distribute it wherever it's needed. So that's kind of how the science works, but this system has definitely been around for a while and there's a lot of research on it. So you can obviously look it up yourself, but should you be excited about BlueSphere and other waste energy companies? Well, that's the thing. Waste energy has been around and has been a controversial topic over the last decade because on one hand, it's producing renewable energy and helping provide electricity and heat globally, but on the other hand, it's burning waste, and that technically does contribute to climate change. So the incinerators actually emit more CO2 per megawatt hour than coal-fired, natural gas-fired, or even oil-fired power plants. Obviously, you hear that and you would think, well, this is a no-brainer, don't invest. But let's go back to the point of the billions of tons of waste that we have globally each year. So waste and the majority of waste energy is certainly a problem and is definitely contributing to climate change. But the beautiful part of BLSP and others in the new wave of waste energy is that the AD process that BlueSphere utilizes actually reduces greenhouse gas emissions by capturing the methane that may have been otherwise lost in the atmosphere. So the older systems, they were kind of using biochemical composting, which definitely was more harmful for the environment, just because that methane was getting lost. but with the new AD process, not so much. So the remedy to kind of getting rid of these older systems and waste energy plants is to think green. We've got to move electric, think microgrids, more recycling, obviously, and in this case, utilizing the anaerobic digestion system that BLSP is on the forefront with. Now, it's not like that's going to happen anytime soon. Waste is still going to build up and energy is always going to be in high demand. So for the foreseeable future, the entire waste energy industry is definitely going to be on the up and up. Currently, the waste industry market is valued at around $40 billion and is projected to be valued at around $50 billion in 2027 with a CAGR of about 5% growth year over year, and those are pretty big numbers. Now, obviously, the waste energy industry has been around for a while, and there are plenty of big players in this field who have already been using the AD system. But I found two interesting catalysts potentially for BLSP that mean we could see its stock price shoot up this year and in the coming years. Number one is that they have an affiliation with Duke Energy, which, as I was making this video, was listed at just over $90 a share. So some of the contracts in the US that Duke gets for clean energy and biogas facilities are fulfilled by BLSP. Essentially, Duke purchases power generated from the Charlotte facility, but they are not a financial partner with BLSP. So regardless, I think it's really interesting that a micropenny like this is affiliated with such a big player. Number two is the Holland project, and that is projected to generate approximately over $244 million in total revenues over a 12-year lifetime. So if you Google BlueSphere Holland project, pretty much only links from 2019 come up when the project financials were closed and it had just started. So these are all projections and I don't believe any of this is confirmed yet, but if you do your own research, you'll find a lot of interesting facts to back this up. Now, I'm also going to be including a list of some DD that I've done in the description to give you guys a head start if you're interested, and definitely leave some comments if you guys have anything that you think that I'm missing or you think that's important. Now, I did read an interesting YouTube comment from a video that Investing with Ozzy did on BLSP from a user named Mark that said the Dutch government recently updated their website on the bio-green gas project in Sterksel, which is for BLSP, to realized and in operation. If that's true, then it wouldn't surprise me if this stock were to hit Pennyland in the coming months. Now, in regards to the management team, I'm going to let you guys look them up yourself just because I don't want to drag the video out and talk too much about each of them, but I'll kind of give you a quick overview of what they look like. So management for BlueSphere is made up of 8 executives and specialists combining over 100 years of experience in relevant or critical fields and are led by CEO Shlomi Paulus. Not sure if I said that right. They do seem to have a pretty diverse set of people with years of experience in marketing, energy management, development, and with solid educational backgrounds. But like I said, look into them and let me know what you guys think. So my predictions for 2021 are not really important, but with the political impact of the House, Senate, and the presidency going Dem, I'd imagine we have a good 2 or 3 years of clean energy and renewable energy plays. And I think that BLSP, while it's definitely a risk being a micro penny, is definitely a fun buy if you have a few extra bucks that you just want to throw into a penny stock. I personally only invested about $50 when it was at 0.003 of a cent, 0.0035 to be exact, and it has since run up at its peak around 1,400 to 1,500% and pulled back a bit recently, right around 900% gains since my initial investment. So it's important to know that it did obviously have a pretty big pullback recently, but those that look at the 1-week chart can kind of see that it could just be consolidating a bit and building a stronger base, which is always good. So the last point I want to reiterate is they are generating revenue. They have permits in place, they have some strong projected revenues with their Holland project and other projects, and there definitely is some potential upside with this. So my plan moving forward, since I don't have much to lose, is to just hold and see maybe if we hit copper over the next few months and then potentially accumulate more on any PRs that come out and anything else that, any other catalysts that I think that might maybe send it over the edge. Now, according to Yahoo Finance, which you can't necessarily trust, but I'll give you the information anyways that I saw, the 1-year price target is 16 cents. A lot of people are seeing that as a reachable price point PT for this. Do with that what you will. Overall, I'm bullish over the next year. And like I said, if you have a few bucks laying around and want to throw it into a potential 10xer like it's been for me, this is definitely an interesting play. Well guys, that's the end of the video. Once again, make sure you do your own research before investing if you do. I also am not a scientist, so if I misspoke or said any inaccurate information, please feel free to let me know. Because this is my first video, obviously any comments, criticisms, tips that anyone has, definitely leave a comment. Don't forget to like the video and share with other investors if you found anything helpful in here. I'm going to try and do more videos over the next few weeks and just get better with the substance in the videos based on what you guys think I should put in, what you think I should take out. So please subscribe if you want to kind of see more content. Obviously, grow the channel a bit with me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and you stay classy, San Diego.